Well, hello there and welcome everybody. So excited to be here with Emily Listman. So I am Jennifer Sparkle Johnson. I'm the lead mindset coach with Karen Coffey and Making Agents Wealthy. So Emily, so glad that you are with us. Thank you for joining us. And you are in Sacramento County, California, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I can't wait to share about you and share you with everyone who's listening. So just take a second, if you would, just tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? What do you like to do?
Sure. Well, I am a self-employed solo parent. So there are a lot of things I like to do, but I don't get to do very many of them.
Right.
Yes. But I'd say one of my favorite things to do, believe it or not, is going out to eat. And that has actually been the hardest part for me through all of COVID and the quarantine is not being able to go out to eat. So, but I also love to write. So writing is my passion. I would love to write novels someday. It's one of those things that I have a lot of fun with. And when I try to sit down and do it like as a job, it's not as fun. So I do it more as a hobby. And also was a dancer for 20 years. So I'm currently teaching my 5-year-old ballet, and we love to sing together too. So,
and she's amazing. We love seeing her. All right. So tell us a little bit, describe just a little bit, what was your business like before Making Agents Wealthy? What was going on for you?
Sure. So I have been in real estate 15 years, but have done all kinds of different elements of the business. So I just became a standalone resale agent about 2.5 years ago. And it was the first time in my entire real estate career that I was ever on my own, not managing anybody, no salary, no benefits, no nothing. And so it's kind of like starting over and being a rookie all over again. And so what happened is by the 1.5 year mark or so, I really started to get serious. I created a business plan. I had a plan for where I wanted to go. I had figured out what I was good at, and I had set up a path for myself. However, I felt like I had gone as far as I could go on my own, and that there were other ways I could build my business that I just didn't understand yet. And instead of spending another 2 years trying to figure those things out, I saw the Karen Coffey program, and I thought, okay, wait, if somebody's already invented the wheel, can I just roll with it? Instead of trying to build one on my own. And so, I could have created on my own a okay business. I could have lived on it and been okay, but it was not going to get me to the level I wanted to get to, and really ultimately to build the team that I want to build. Because my fantasy is in 20 years that my child wants to take over my business and I go, live in London 6 months out of the year or whatever.
There you go. I love that. That's a good fantasy, by the way. Dreams do come true. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Awesome. But something that you said is so important, and I'm sure that everyone listening can maybe see the same in themselves as well. You were doing this, going about it for a little while, and then it was like, I'm getting serious. I'm making a business plan. I'm going to do this. And then what I also love that you said is, I also realized, hang on a second, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. That's so important. I love that you said that, because I'm sure that people can connect with that. So tell me, at that point though, specifically, what was, if you remember, why was it important to fix it at that point? What was that moment for you?
So I was still at a point where I was, I'd have a couple escrows and make some good money, and then I'd have a dry spell for a couple of months. So I lacked the consistency in income that I not only needed to feel a little more secure in my own life, but I felt like being a single parent, having that consistent income is really important. And I had people in my life that first couple of years who would say to me, "You're crazy. You need to go get a job. You're a mom now, you have a kid, you can't just go out and hope you make some money." And so, you have to ignore those voices, which can be challenging, and trust that it's going to happen. But for me, I realized I was working so hard every day, all these hours, and maybe by investing in myself for the first time in a very long time, I could get somewhere else and get to a higher level than I ever could get on my own. And it was a leap of faith. And for me, it was jumping off a bridge, because I don't spend that kind of, I don't spend money on myself. I don't invest in my business. Most real estate agents don't. Right. And, but Yeah, best thing I ever did.
Ooh, so many beautiful things that you just said there. And I know people are listening, and I'm just going to invite everybody to lean in, because what you just said was so beautiful and powerful. You talked about others around you saying, you got to get a job. You're a mom, what do you think, in kind of a concept. So many people have those other well-intended messages. I'm going to go on statement with that. Well-intended messages from their opinion of what's best for you. You could have done that, and I'm so glad you didn't, by the way. But you know what else is happening? It was a leap of faith for you, because like you said, you don't invest in yourself or your business in the past that way, and it really was jumping off that bridge and trusting the process. Such a powerful statement, because so many times we can choose to listen to those voices and opinions of others, or we can do exactly what you said. Trust yourself, take that leap of faith, and turn it all around for you and for your daughter, and of course for the legacy for both of you. I love that you said that. That is so beautiful. So the other thing that I'm curious is, was there anything else that you had tried before joining us, that you haven't talked about yet?
You know, not really. I mean, I've read a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied all the Keller Williams books about building teams. And I did attempt to build a team back when I was selling down in Newport Beach years ago, and just didn't have the support necessary to do that. So I did a lot of my own research, but I had never, and I am in a high performance coaching group, but it's not real estate focused. So it's
Right.
people from all walks of life and all different kinds of businesses. So, but I had, via Facebook, via referrals, via every possible avenue, had been shown all kinds of different coaching programs. And every time I just couldn't pull the trigger. I'd get to the end and it just didn't resonate with me, or something didn't feel right. And the first time I watched the Karen Coffey video, I was in love. Like I just immediately, but at the time, unfortunately was not in the financial position to move forward. And so when I got to that point, it was the first thing I thought of was, okay, can I do this now? Can I do this now? I've been waiting. I've been wanting.
You've been preparing. Yeah.
And so, in fact, watching her video is what inspired me to write that business plan in the first place.
Oh, wow.
And so, I would say no, not really, but also I had been investigating programs for years, and this one just immediately hit home for me. And I felt so connected to the program months before I even joined.
Wow, that's huge. That's beautiful. I love that you said that. And sometimes, and there's so many things out there, of course, right? Absolutely. And things that we can do on our own and read on our own. And I think we all have. I always like to refer to that as self-help, right? Which I'll speak for myself, also turns into shelf help. So from self-help to shelf help, because it sits on the shelf versus getting results and actually turning everything around. But anyway, I love that you said that. And you saw Karen on Facebook and all that, and just you felt that connection, and that's so beautiful. I'll have to make sure she knows that. I love that you shared that. Now this is going to be funny, and so I'm going to preface it with no sharing Karen's secrets. Okay. Yet. Do you remember one of the first things that we asked you to do, and did it work for you? So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So one of the first stages of the program is really to reach out to your database in multiple ways. Some ways which might involve meeting them in person. And I joined the program, I think 5 days before we went on quarantine.
Yeah.
So here I am in the very beginning of the program going, oh, shoot, what did I do? Right? The world is shutting down and I have this program, and what do I do? Yeah. And so what was so miraculous to me, and what I'm so grateful for, is like within 1 week, if it was even that long, you all put together all these different virtual ways that we could do business, and really taught us how to embrace the quarantine and still continue on the path and do what we could do. Yeah. And it took all that stress back away, that initial stress of, oh, wow, I just invested in this thing and the whole world is falling.
Right. Yeah. So what's going on?
Right. And it changed that mindset from, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, to, oh, okay, I got this.
I love that phrase. Yes.
Okay, I got this. I can do this. And while everyone else was hiding in their office, or not their office, at home and not working, I was working. I was working the steps, I was working the program, and I was learning new skills. And those skills I will take on forever.
Yes,
Even over.
absolutely. So and thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the world changed. So you finally joined our family, right? And then 5 days later, ta-da, the entire world just changed, went on hold, if you will. But what I love what you said though is, yeah, a lot of agents, a lot of people, they stayed home, and I'll say stay hidden, right? They were hiding out, or just whatever's going on for them, versus actually having, and thank you for saying that, actually having a step-by-step system, a COVID plan to not only have business during COVID, yet also to make sure that you have a thriving business at the end of all of this.
Right.
That is so important, because you could have panicked, and you could have been one of those that was hiding out as well. And instead you didn't, you were thriving. And I'm, first of all, high five, so happy for you. And also, seriously, there's so many more benefits to everything you just said, and especially as a mom. You know, even though she's young, she's watching, and you didn't stop. You kept taking care of your business, and you both, and that's beautiful and powerful. I know that touched some other moms out there hearing that. Let's fast forward for just a second, and you started to share this before I interrupted, but I want to circle back. What would you say has happened for you, or that you notice for yourself personally, and of course business-wise as well, from being part of the program? So how did this impact you and also your business?
There's two major changes that I made in my life. The first was the mindset aspect. I've always considered myself to be someone who's trying to better myself and, you know, work towards things. But there's a couple of reading materials and a few aspects of this program that allowed me to really like tweak my entire frequency of thought and change my mindset from a struggle, this sort of sense of I'm always struggling and I have to work harder and harder and harder, to more of a mindset of I'm good. If I do the work and I show up and I take action, it's going to work. It's going to be okay. Yes. So that, I mean, that was the biggest one for me from the very beginning. That was the biggest change for me.
Yeah.
The second one that I think was really important was, I think it's really easy to confuse self-discipline with working hard.
Woo, huge.
I worked very hard and I worked a lot of hours, but I wasn't focusing on the most constructive pathways to getting to the next level, partly because I didn't know what they were. I didn't have anyone coaching me or telling me or training me, and everybody's got different ideas anyway. So learning how to take that self-discipline and point it in the right direction instead of just working hard thinking that's what you're supposed to do. That was a huge takeaway from me. I mean, with having my daughter at home this whole time, there were days when I could maybe get 2 hours to focus on work. And I feel like because of the tools that I was given, I got more done in those 2 hours than I used to get in maybe 7 hours when she was at school all day and I was in the office. So that's going to change my life forever. That's like two things, the mindset and that understanding the self-discipline and focusing on what's constructive. Those two things will forever have totally changed my business and my personal life too.
Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. And you're so spot on, because it does. We can be busy being busy, which is not necessarily going to get us results. And so, you know, what I'm hearing you say is now you had a streamlined focus, especially, let's just say you had the 2 hours versus 7 hours at the office. So wonderful to know that you don't have to struggle. And I love that you said that, because this is real. And especially going through everything that we've gone through in the world and with COVID, you still had the ability and did implement the best way for you to get the results that you were looking for. And that's huge. And I love that you said, you know, I'm going to take these things, and especially the mindset as well. I'm going to take these things for life. And the beauty is not only are you going to take them for life for you, but we know that's going to help. And as you're a leader with your team, and trickle down to them and supporting them as they continue to rise and grow. And then 100% absolutely as a mom sharing that with her as well. So that's beautiful. I love that you said that. So good. And everything that you're sharing, it's that reminder that life is happening, and
Mhm.
here's what I'm doing about it and with it instead, with a plan. I love that. So if you bring us up to speed just a little bit, what's actually going on for you today? So share with us a little bit right now.
Sure. So right now I'm in the process of hiring my first team members. So that's very exciting. Yes.
Yes, it is.
I actually have so many leads that I'm struggling to follow up with them. And I don't like, and I mean that truly, partly because
Yeah.
I still do have my daughter 24/7, and
Sure.
it's still a unique world out there. But
Yes.
I'm following up, just not in the way that I would like to, and it is taking time away from some other things. And so
Yeah.
it's become essential now for me to get help.
Yes.
I also, the thing about mindset, I literally wake up in the morning and open my laptop, and there's emails from people who are like, hey, I met you 2 years ago. Hey, I met you, here or there. And I have this question, or I need this help, or this referral, whatever it is. And that never happened to me before.
Right.
It never
So
happened.
good.
So just the trusting. And then I think, like the coaches always tell us, if you show up, like the first thing that people forget is you just have to show up. Like, show up and take some action. And when you do those two little tiny things, things will start to flow. It's like a domino effect. And I think it's easy to get discouraged and take, skip that day of lead gen or skip that, whatever.
Right. Or something. Yeah.
But the more consistent, I think, it's kind of magical. I feel like
Aww.
it's not even hard work. I mean, I work.
I know, right?
And I have to do the things, but it's not that hard. And every action I take, I do believe will have some benefit down the road, even if it's not in that conversation. There's going to be some payoff for it. And that's, like I said, when you're focusing on the right things and you're focusing on what's actually going to take you to the next level instead of just being busy, it just happens so fast. So
it does.
3 deals in escrow, 3 listings coming up, and much more in the future.
That's right. And building your team. So,
right.
Totally leverage and stepping into that leadership role. The other thing that I love that you just so many things that were golden nuggets there. So I hope everybody's taking notes. But also what I love is you just said, I have so many leads, I'm struggling. Not struggling because everything is hard, but struggling because you have so many leads coming in. And that's really what it's all about, is having the leads coming into you, so no chasing, right? So I love that that's happening for you. But really, oh my goodness, Emily, it's not hard. I mean, for you to say that now today versus before we met, that is a beautiful full circle statement. It just is. Oh my goodness gracious. So how can people get in touch with you? So I want to make sure people know how to get in touch with you, whether, connecting obviously to help them specifically, or if they have a referral and things like that. So tell people how to connect with you.
Sure. So my website is sacramentocountyhomes.com. So that's one way. If you go to emilylistman.com, it'll take you there. And then my email is my name. It's emily@emilylistman.com. I try to keep things really easy. And,
Look, go ahead and spell it for everybody though, just so because I want to make sure they find you.
Sure. So it's EMILY, traditional Emily spelling, and the last name is Listman. So it's LISTMAN, Listman. And I'm on Facebook, Emily Listman. Instagram's @Emily Listman. Emily Listman Home Sales is my business page. If you Google Emily Listman, you will find me.
Awesome.
I'm the only one that comes up for like 2 pages.
I love that. Awesome. Good. And I just wanted to make sure and spell it just so everybody had it, because sometimes when they're writing, things can go by so quick. All right. So let's think about, people are leaning in, listening, saying, oh, I love that this happened for you. I love that this happened for Emily. Yet what's a takeaway that you can share, or that you want people to take away or know, about what you've done, what you've gone through, or anything that you just want everyone to know?
It can be very lonely being a resale
Mm,
agent, especially if you're not on a team.
yeah.
I am a little introverted, believe it or not. So I do sometimes like the aspect of being able to sit in my office by myself. And then I also get the people part of showing homes or listing homes and that kind of thing. But it gets lonely, and sometimes you feel at a loss of direction. And
Yeah.
this community, I actually am part of a sort of breakout group that we created to
Yeah.
study together. And if I'm having a bad day, if they're having a bad day, I mean, we're there for each other, and we try to
Mhm.
support one another. We do support one another.
Yeah.
And that feeling of community, especially if you're doing this on your own right now, it's saved all of us, I think, especially because of COVID and not being
Mhm.
able to interact with people. Having that community surrounding me and
Yeah.
being supported, and also being able to hear what other people are doing and what's working for them, and it's so
Mhm.
collaborative.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite part of the experience.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And you're right, it can be lonely. It can feel like you're out on an island all by yourself.
Mhm.
And especially with everything that's going on with COVID, you're so right. As humans, we all need a sense of community, and especially now with everything that's going on. And that's one thing that I love, is that it is a family, and you guys, not only know that, yet you just shared, feeling that and having that experience, and that's beautiful. I love that you said that. Thank you. That's very important to us, and so I know you've experienced it because we talk enough. Yet it's so important that that is part of who we are, and of course what Karen provides. So if for everyone out there listening, leaning in, lonely, jump off that bridge, finally take action, stop struggling, make it easy for yourself. I still love that you said that. That's my favorite when I hear that, by the way. um, we want to support you. So our team is here to support you. We're here to support you. You have questions, by all means, reach out. But actually, please have pen and paper. And I want to invite each of you listening, join our masterclass, jump on, make sure, and I'm going to give you the site here in just a second. Make sure that you do that for yourself. And like I said, have pen and paper, because you're going to get a lot of information shared with you. We want to help you get started. If you're wondering, how did Emily do some of these things? Get in that masterclass. Let us help you. So for everyone listening, please make sure that you do that right now. Go ahead and go to KarenCoffey.com/making agents wealthy. And again, it's Karen Coffey, KarenCoffey.com/making agents wealthy. Join that masterclass. Of course, it's complimentary and free. We want to support you. Come with pen and paper, because there's a lot of great information for you. We look forward to supporting you and answering any questions for you. Emily, oh my goodness, thank you for being with us and sharing your experience, your heart, everything that you've done. So happy for you, so proud of you, and can't wait to watch you continue to leverage and grow. Thank you again. All right, bye everybody.